I found my husband's death certificate 3 days ago. Dated March 7, 2015. 10 years ago. The problem is, he's in the kitchen right now making coffee. My name is Rachel Bennett. I'm 38 years old. And I've been married to a dead man for a decade without knowing it. Let me explain how this happened. Because I'm still trying to understand it myself. I'm a pharmacist. I work at Miller's Pharmacy on 6th Street. Married Daniel Reed 8 years ago. Or at least, I thought I did. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party. He was charming. Kind. Said he worked in software development. We dated for 6 months. Got married at City Hall. Small ceremony. Just us and 2 witnesses we pulled off the street. Looking back, that should have been a red flag. No family. No big wedding. No photos to frame and hang on walls. He said his parents were dead. Said he was an only child. I believed him. Why wouldn't I? He was my husband. You don't suspect the person you sleep next to every night of being a ghost. Or an imposter. Or whatever the hell he is. Our marriage was normal. Quiet. He worked from home most days. I worked at the pharmacy. We'd have dinner together. Watch TV. Go to bed. Wake up. Repeat. 8 years of comfortable, unremarkable domesticity. Until 3 days ago. I was organizing our home office. Tax season coming up. Need to find last year's returns. Daniel keeps everything meticulously filed. Color-coded folders. Alphabetized. It's one of the things I love about him. His attention to detail. I'm pulling folders from the filing cabinet. Birth certificates. Social security cards. Marriage license. The usual documents you accumulate over a lifetime. Then I see a folder I don't recognize. Plain manila. No label. Stuck in the back. I open it. Inside is a death certificate. Official. State seal. Everything. Name, Daniel Marcus Reed. Date of birth, May 14, 1985. Date of death, March 7, 2015. Cause of death, drowning. Location, Lake Morrison. I stare at it for maybe 5 minutes. Brain trying to process. This has to be a mistake. Wrong person. Same name. Common name. Lots of Daniel Reeds in the world. But then I see the social security number. It matches the one on our tax returns. The one Daniel uses. The one that's his. My hands start shaking. I pull out my phone. Google, Daniel Reed death 2015 Lake Morrison. Articles pop up immediately. Local news. Man drowns in tragic boating accident. There's a photo. It's him. Younger. Different haircut. But unmistakably him. Same scar above his left eyebrow. Same slightly crooked smile. The article says he was out fishing alone. Boat capsized. Body recovered 3 days later. Funeral held at Morrison Community Church. Survived by his mother, Karen Reed, and brother, Christopher Reed. Mother. Brother. He told me they were all dead. He told me he had nobody. I'm still sitting there. Holding the death certificate. When I hear footsteps. Daniel's coming upstairs. I shove the folder back in the cabinet. Try to look normal. Busy. Just organizing files. Nothing weird. He pokes his head in. You okay? You look pale. I'm fine. Just dusty in here. Allergies. He nods. I'm making coffee. Want some? Sure. Be down in a minute. He leaves. I listen to his footsteps descending. And I realize. I'm terrified. Not of some stranger. Of my husband. The man I've shared a bed with for 8 years. Because I have no idea who he actually is. That night, I can't sleep. He's next to me. Breathing steady. Deep sleep like always. And I'm staring at him in the dark. Trying to figure out if this is real. If he's real. If any of this is real. Maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe I misread the certificate. Maybe there's a reasonable explanation. Identity theft. Clerical error. Something. But I know. Deep down. I know something is very, very wrong. The next morning, I call in sick to work. Tell them I have the flu. Soon as Daniel leaves for his morning run, I go back to that filing cabinet. Pull out everything. Every document. Every scrap of paper with his name on it. Our marriage license. Dated 2017. 2 years after he supposedly drowned. His driver's license. Issued 2016. 1 year after his death. Social Security card. Same number as the death certificate. Bank statements going back to 2016. All in his name. All showing regular transactions. Mortgage payments. Utilities. Grocery store. Coffee shop. He's been living a completely normal life. As a dead man. I find more articles. Obituary. Daniel Marcus Reed, age 30, tragically lost to Lake Morrison. A beloved son and brother. Memorial service to be held Saturday, March 14th. I find the funeral home website. Memorial page still up. Photos of him. Younger version. Comments from people saying goodbye. His mother Karen, my beautiful boy. Gone too soon. His brother Christopher, I'll miss you every day. Rest in peace. I'm hyperventilating. This isn't a mistake. This isn't identity theft. This is deliberate. Planned. He faked his death. And he's been living under his own name. Like nothing happened. Like he didn't die. Why? Why fake your death and then keep using your real name? Why not disappear completely? New identity. New life. Why stay Daniel Reed? Unless he never actually faked it. Unless something else is happening. Something I can't even begin to understand. I hear the front door. He's back from his run. I shove everything back in the cabinet. Try to look normal. But my heart's racing. Palms sweating. He'll know. He'll see it on my face. He comes upstairs. Sees me. Frowns. You sure you're okay? You look really pale. Maybe you should see a doctor. I'm fine. Just tired. He touches my forehead. Checking for fever. His hand is warm. Real. Solid. This is not a ghost. This is a physical person. Standing in front of me. Concerned about my health. Why don't you go back to bed? I'll bring you some tea. Okay. Thanks. Can we see the burial records? Proof of interment? The administrator pulls files. Everything looks official. Certificate of death. Burial permit. Everything. But here's the thing about paperwork. It can be faked. Especially if you know the right people. Especially if you're desperate. I turn to Karen. Did you see Christopher's body? At the funeral? Closed casket. He'd been dead for 3 days when they found him. Alone in his apartment. I couldn't look at him like that. So you never actually saw his body. After he supposedly died. She's putting it together now. The same way I did. Her face is crumbling. Denial warring with terrible possibility. You're saying Christopher isn't dead. You're saying he's been pretending to be Daniel. For 10 years. You're saying I've been mourning the wrong son. Or Daniel is dead. And the man I married is Christopher. Using his brother's identity. But why? Why would he do that? I don't know. But I'm going to find out. I drive home in a daze. None of this makes sense. If Christopher faked his death and took Daniel's identity, why would he then fake Daniel's death too? Why not just disappear as Christopher? Why the elaborate double death scenario? Unless someone was looking for Christopher. Someone dangerous. And the only way to truly disappear was to die twice. Once as yourself. Once as your brother. I get home. Daniel's car is in the driveway. He's home early. Not good. I need time to think. To plan. I walk in. He's in the living room. Sitting in the dark. Waiting. Where were you? I told you. Friend's house. Which friend? Sarah. From work. Sarah's working today. I called the pharmacy. You called in sick. So where were you, Rachel? His voice is different. Harder. This isn't the gentleman I married. This is someone else. Someone I'm suddenly afraid of. I was running errands. Is that a crime? He stands. Walks toward me. I went into the office today. The filing cabinet was open. Files were out of place. You've been digging. Haven't you? I don't know what you're talking about. Yes. You do. You found it. The death certificate. That's why you've been acting strange. He's right in front of me now. Blocking the door. There's nowhere to go. Who are you? Are you Daniel? Or are you Christopher? He laughs. Bitter. Cold. Does it matter? They're both dead anyway. What does that mean? It means you should have left it alone, Rachel. We were happy. We had a good life. You should have just left it alone. I'm backing away now. Reaching for my phone. He sees it. Grabs my wrist. Not hard enough to hurt. But firm. A warning. Don't. There's no one to call. No one who would believe you. I've been Daniel Reed for 10 years. I have documents. Records. A life. Who are you going to tell? That your husband died before you married him? They'll think you're crazy. So you are Christopher. He lets go of my wrist. Sits back down. Looks tired suddenly. Defeated. I was Christopher. A long time ago. Now I don't know what I am. Tell me. Tell me what happened. I deserve that much. He's quiet for a long time. Then he starts talking. Daniel and I were twins. Identical. Most people couldn't tell us apart. Including our own mother sometimes. We did everything together. Until I got into drugs. Pills. Then heroin. Daniel tried to help. Tried to save me. But I was too far gone. February 2013. I overdosed. Should have died. Daniel found me. Called 911. They revived me. But I was in bad shape. Brain damage from lack of oxygen. I wasn't the same after that. Couldn't hold a job. Couldn't function. I was a burden. Daniel took care of me. For 2 years he took care of me. Then March 2015. We went fishing. Lake Morrison. Just us. Like old times. We were out on the water. Talking. I told him I couldn't do it anymore. Couldn't be a burden. Couldn't watch him sacrifice his life for mine. I was going to kill myself. For real this time. Make it stick. Daniel begged me not to. We fought. The boat rocked. And Daniel. He fell. Hit his head on the side of the boat. Went into the water unconscious. I jumped in after him. Tried to save him. But the current. The cold. I couldn't. I couldn't get to him in time. I watched my brother drown. The brother who'd spent 2 years keeping me alive. And I let him die. The boat capsized. I swam to shore. Walked home. Collapsed. When I woke up, it hit me. Daniel was dead. Because of me. And everyone would know. They'd investigate. They'd find out we fought. They'd think I killed him. Maybe I did. Maybe I pushed him. I don't even remember anymore. So I made a choice. I let them think the body in the lake was me. Christopher. The screwed-up twin. The one everyone expected to die anyway. I became Daniel. Took his identity. His life. The life he deserved, and I destroyed. I moved away. Changed jobs. Started over. Tried to be the man he would have been. And then I met you. And for the first time since he died, I felt human again. I felt like maybe I deserved to live after all. He's crying now. Real tears. Raw grief. This isn't a monster. This is a broken man who's been carrying his brother's ghost for a decade. Why did you fake Daniel's death? If you were already living as him? Because his mother kept calling. Kept wanting to visit. Kept saying she missed him. I couldn't face her. Couldn't look her in the eye and pretend to be her son. So I staged another accident. Another drowning. Killed Daniel a second time. So I could finally be free of both identities. Be neither Christopher nor Daniel. Just someone new. And me? What am I in all this? You're the only real thing in my life. The only person who knows me. The actual me. Not who I was. Not who I'm pretending to be. Just me. I don't even know what to say. Part of me is horrified. He lied to me for 8 years. Built our entire relationship on a false identity. Our marriage isn't even legal. Daniel Reed was legally dead when we got married. But another part of me understands. He was drowning too. Not in a lake. In guilt. In grief. In the weight of a terrible accident that cost him everything. And he grabbed onto the only life preserver he could find. His brother's name. What do we do now? He looks at me. Really looks at me. Like he's seeing me for the first time. Vulnerable. Afraid. Waiting for me to decide his fate. I don't know. Are you going to turn me in? Tell the police? His mother? I should. This is fraud. Identity theft. Maybe even manslaughter. Daniel's death might have been an accident, but everything that followed wasn't. But here's what I keep thinking about. The man I married. The one who makes me coffee every morning. Who holds me when I have nightmares. Who remembers my mother's birthday. That man is sitting in front of me. Broken. Real. Asking me to decide if his life is worth saving. Tell me your real name. Not Daniel. Not Christopher. Before all this. Who were you supposed to be? He thinks for a long time. Then quietly. Christopher Michael Reed. Chris. Everyone called me Chris. Okay, Chris. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to Karen. Together. And you're going to tell her everything. She deserves to know which son she lost. And which son survived. She deserves to grieve the right person. She'll hate me. Maybe. But she also thought she lost both her sons. Now she gets one back. Damaged. Changed. But alive. That's something. And us? I don't know yet. I need time. To process. To figure out if I can stay married to someone who doesn't legally exist. Someone whose entire identity is a lie. But you're not leaving right now? No. Not right now. 3 days later, we're sitting in Karen's living room. Again. This time with Chris. This time with truth. She stares at him. Not quite believing. Wanting to see Christopher in Daniel's face. Or Daniel in Christopher's. I'm not sure anymore which is which. Maybe he isn't either. Say something, Chris whispers. Something only I would know. Something Daniel wouldn't. She's crying. When you were 7. You broke your arm falling out of the treehouse. You made me promise not to tell your father because you weren't supposed to be up there. You said it was our secret. Chris nods. I told Dad I fell off my bike. He believed me. Daniel covered for me. Said he saw it happen. We kept that secret for 20 years. Karen's face crumbles. It is you. You're alive. My Chris. My baby. You're alive. She crosses the room. Pulls him into her arms. He breaks. Completely. Sobs like a child. Years of grief and guilt pouring out. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. I let him die. I let Daniel die. She's holding him. Rocking him. Shushing him. No. No, baby. It was an accident. You didn't mean it. My Daniel. My Daniel wouldn't want you to carry this. He'd want you to live. They stay like that for a long time. Mother and son. Reunited across a decade of lies and loss. I sit quietly. Watching. This isn't my moment. This is theirs. Eventually, Karen pulls back. Looks at me. You married him. Knowing all this. You're staying? I don't know. I'm still figuring that out. She nods. Understands. Then looks at Chris. What name are you using now? Who are you? I don't know, Mom. I've been Daniel so long I forgot how to be Christopher. And I can't go back to being him anyway. That person died in a lake 10 years ago. Along with his brother. Then we give you a new name. A real one. Legal. We go to the authorities. We explain what happened. The accident. The panic. The identity theft. You take responsibility. Face the consequences. And then you start over. As yourself. Whoever that is. I'll go to prison. Maybe. Probably. But you'll be free. Really free. Not hiding. Not pretending. Just. You. Chris looks at me. What do you think? I think she's right. I think you need to face this. And I think I need time. To decide if I can forgive this. If I can trust you again. If we have anything real to save. His face falls. But he nods. I understand. 4 months later, I'm sitting in a courtroom. Watching Christopher Michael Reed plead guilty to identity fraud. To filing false documents. To a list of charges that will probably send him to prison for 3 to 5 years. His lawyer argued the accident. The grief. The mental state. The judge listened. But the law is the law. What Chris did was illegal. Even if the reasons were tragic. He's sentenced to 4 years. Eligible for parole in 2. Karen cries. I sit still. Watching the man I thought was my husband be led away in handcuffs. That night, I go home. To our house. Except it's not our house anymore. It's just mine. I walk through rooms full of memories that aren't real. A marriage that never legally existed. 8 years with a man who was pretending to be someone else. But here's what I keep coming back to. The person I fell in love with. The one who was kind and gentle and made me laugh. That person was real. Maybe he had the wrong name. Wrong identity. Wrong everything. But the love. That was real. I think. I find a box in the closet. Photos from our wedding. Our honeymoon. Birthdays and anniversaries. I look at his face in every picture. Trying to see Christopher instead of Daniel. Trying to reconcile the man I thought I knew with the man I actually married. And you know what? I can't tell the difference. Because maybe there isn't one. Maybe he stopped being Christopher or Daniel years ago. Maybe he became someone entirely new. Someone who existed only in our marriage. In our life together. I don't know if I'll be there when he gets out. I don't know if I can forgive him. I don't know if love built on a lie can survive truth. But I know this. I know grief does strange things to people. I know desperation makes us do terrible things. I know guilt can eat you alive. I know sometimes the only way to survive is to become someone else entirely. And I know that somewhere between Christopher and Daniel, there was a man I loved. A man who loved me back. And whether that's enough, I guess I have 4 years to figure out. My name is Rachel Bennett. I'm 38 years old. And I spent 8 years married to a dead man. 2 dead men. Both of them. The question isn't whether he lied. He did. Massively. The question is whether people can come back from lies that big. Whether identity matters as much as we think it does. Whether love is about knowing someone's name. Or knowing their heart. I don't have answers. Just questions. And time. And a choice to make. Do I walk away from the man who built his entire life on a lie? Or do I accept that sometimes, the only way to survive is to bury who you were? And hope someone loves who you become? I'll let you know when I decide. If I ever do. But here's what I learned. Death isn't always physical. Sometimes you die when your identity does. When your name becomes someone else's. When your life gets erased and replaced. Christopher died in that lake. Just not the way anyone thought. He drowned the moment he pulled himself onto shore without his brother. The moment he decided to be Daniel instead. The moment he buried Christopher and tried to live as someone he could never truly be. And Daniel? Daniel died twice. Once in the water. Once on paper. Both times by his brother's hand. Not through malice. Through desperate, misguided love. I visit Chris in prison. Once a month. We sit across from each other. Talk through plexiglass. He's different now. Lighter somehow. Like confession freed him. Like finally being Christopher again. Finally being no one. Lets him breathe. He asks if I'm coming back. When he gets out. I tell him I don't know. And I mean it. Some days I think yes. Some days I think no. Most days I think maybe. Because here's the truth about loving a ghost. A man with a borrowed name and a buried past. You don't get to know who he really is. You only get to know who he becomes. And sometimes that's enough. Sometimes it isn't. I guess we'll see. For now, I'm Rachel Bennett. 38 years old. Widow to a man who never died. Wife to a man who never existed. And the only person alive who knows the whole story. All 3 deaths. All 3 lives. And I carry them all. Daniel. Christopher. And the man who was somehow both and neither. The man I loved. The man I'm not sure I ever really knew. But maybe that's marriage anyway. Maybe we're all married to strangers wearing familiar faces. Maybe identity is just a story we tell ourselves. A name we answer to. A past we claim. Maybe truth is overrated. Maybe what matters is how you treat someone. Not what you call yourself while doing it. Or maybe I'm just trying to justify staying in love with a lie. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. One prison visit at a time. One day at a time. One heartbeat at a time. My husband has been dead for 10 years. And I'm still deciding whether that matters. Whether it changes anything. Whether love requires truth. Or just presence. Ask me again in 4 years. When he's free. When I've had time. When we can sit across from each other without plexiglass. And see if there's anything left to save. Until then. I'm just a woman who loved a ghost. And is haunted by the choice of whether to let him go. Or pull him back to life. One more time. The final time. As himself. Whoever that is.
Story shocked you? Smash that like button. Subscribe now for more jaw-dropping mysteries, and share this with everyone. They need to see this. What would you have done? Comment below. Thanks for watching. See you soon.